Hello. So, with all of the information that's been coming out about Deceit 2 recently, I wanted to make a quick video talking about everything we know about it so far. Recently, the devs at World Makers have given a bit of information and have started to do blog posts on their website, deceit.gg. As you can see here on the main screen, they have a link to register for the alpha that I believe will be being held in the last few days of October. So if you're interested and haven't already, I recommend registering in hopes that you have a chance of getting in. You can also see an in-game look of the Game Master, which is very cool. I like it a lot. We do have a little part here. Let me just move my character. We have a little part here talking about what Deceit 2 will be, and giving a little showcase of how menacing that terror is, as well as Alex, new updated model. The terror looks very big and menacing and not like a hunched over gremlin like it does in Deceit 1. So here, I believe this will let you join the Discord. We also have the same type of thing here showing how big the terror is compared to Hans. And they also have a bunch of different stuff here that pertains to the lore of the game. They seem to have been doing a very different take on the whole lore behind the game and the Game Master. You can find a bit of that here in the case files section. There's this forum. There's a bunch of different stuff pertaining to the lore, including some different texts with some hidden codes, by the way. And I will say that the codes do unlock something in Deceit 1, for those of you interested. Though the thing I wanted to go over the most was right here in the blogs. As of recording this, they have released 2 blogs. They were released pretty close to each other, which gives me hope that we're actually going to be getting a lot more information about the game more quickly, because there was a few months here that we didn't really get much. That is involving the trailer, which was supposed to come out sometime in July, I believe, but the release date has been moved. It still should be coming out in September, though don't blame me if that ends up being wrong. So in their first post, Building Deceit 2, we get this good look at all the characters and their new models, well, 4 of them. We have Chang, Alex, Lisa, and Rachel. And as you can see, I don't have it zoomed in here, but here are all the characters on the notepad. They have 9. The Deceit 2 will be 9-player game. So while we know the original 6 are in, we don't know much about the other 3 characters that are, as of now, still a mystery. They talk a little bit here about the history of Deceit and what they've been doing in the past couple years. And they knew that they wanted to improve the game, but they decided that it would be better to start with a new game and try to make a completely improved experience. So it's very exciting that we are getting the new game with Unreal 5. They also show a bit here about the design process and making the new characters, specifically Lisa, and it looks amazing. The actual quality of the characters is such a step up, and it gives me hope that the quality of the entire game will be of a completely new level compared to Deceit 1. There's also some different pictures here of concepts and different tests and different pieces of the map that's going to be released. Something else here that was really interesting, they have a bunch of pictures here talking about the ways that they're approaching the audio in this game. And it does seem to be a lot more advanced than it is in the original game, especially considering what they did here. Apparently the game will be based on proximity chat instead of all chat. It seems they're going all out on this, which I believe is probably a lot better with considering 9-player games. It would be a lot of chaos if they didn't do something like proximity or a restricted type chat. So then they ended off here telling to watch for more information that's coming out. I believe we'll be getting more consistent information coming out in coming weeks, maybe every 2 weeks or so. If you're interested, you should go to the website. I've linked it in the description and sign up for the alpha test. You may have a chance at actually playing the game before it comes out and helping them test, make sure that everything's working well. Moving on to this blog post that came out a few hours ago as of time of recording. This is more of a thing that just goes into the characters, what they look like now, at least the 6 that are in the original game, and what their kind of backstory is. So as I believe I said earlier, this lore is not the same as the lore in the original game. They seem to have expanded on some things, while a lot of things have actually been changed. First we have Alex, his new look. It looks like his character is a journalist. Then we have Hans, who appears to be a hospital orderly now, which is quite different from his lore in Deceit 1. Lisa still seems to be a police officer. I think that worked really well for her character in the original game, so I'm glad that they're keeping it like that. We get a good look at Chang, who in the lore now seems to be a boxing champion. And we have Rachel, still seems to be scared as ever. She was a senior account executive. And then finally we have Nina, who's a student from Japan. The look of all these new character models looks amazing, and I'm really excited to see the other 3 characters that we don't know yet. It does say at the bottom here, we'll be introducing you to 3 new truth seekers soon. Which gives me hope that maybe the next blog post or the one after, we'll be seeing the 3 new characters. Overall, very exciting stuff. So that is probably going to be the end of all the official stuff that's on their website for Deceit 2. I do want to go over some more unofficial stuff that we know of because of TwitchCon Amsterdam. For those that don't know, there was a Deceit 2 booth at TwitchCon Amsterdam, I believe July 15th, 16th. Someone from our community, Slay, actually went there while live streaming and had about a 40-minute sit down and talk and Q&A pretty much with the devs, which was really, really cool. Though, before I get into any of this and any of the stuff that is shown, this is completely unofficial, as confirmed by Jord, one of the devs, in the Discord. Anything that was spoken about on this stream should be considered completely unofficial. They were mostly talking about what they're trying to do, what they want to do, and not everything that they're trying to put into the game will actually be making it into the game. Nothing I'm about to talk about is confirmed, but considering everything they said, I still think it is very interesting and worth putting into the video. So I'm going to show bits of the stream and do my best case at subtitling it. It was extremely noisy at TwitchCon. A lot of the words that they said were not very clear. Some were completely unintelligible. But I did my best and picked out the most important things that they said that I could actually understand. So I'll be showing that now, and then I'll have little clips of me either explaining more of what they are saying in it, or maybe even just speculating about what they've said and giving my thoughts on it.
So will the items from Deceit 1 be in Deceit 2, or will some be removed? I know that there's new items, but...
Yeah, so in Deceit 1 there are item upgrades, but instead in Deceit 2 there are just more items.
Okay.
And yeah, so essentially all the items, most of all the items from Deceit 1 are some new ones.
Okay, solid. Nice. And the upgrades are gone, or...?
It's a bit different, yeah, because in Deceit 2 you don't have things like a camera with just 2 flashes.
Okay.
We built it to be a little bit less about kind of you having to restock on the same item and just having a bigger choice of things to use.
Okay, nice.
So I thought this was pretty interesting. There won't be item upgrades like there are in Deceit 1. They were introduced in like the last year or so, where it would change how each item works. But I'm excited to see what other new items they've created and seeing how the system works, because they said that you will do less of having to restock the same items over and over, which is more of what you do in gameplay now in Deceit 1. Like if you run out of camera flashes in the night, it's very interesting in seeing how this will work.
And how you manage to take the items, will it be the same or again?
Still based on objectives, but it works a bit differently.
Okay, nice, I like that.
We try to make the objectives much more unique to the map.
Changing up how objectives work will be very nice. In the game now, pretty much the entire map is the same, except which objectives in which box can change. I think more objectives based on the map, like more built-in ones instead of just like a computer laying there that you hold E on and get an item. I'm excited to see what interesting things they did with that and seeing how unique it makes it each time you replay the same map.
And a new map as well, or?
Completely new. Yeah.
Completely, okay.
Everything's rebuilt from scratch.
Solid.
The base game on launch is still going to be undecided. So, Deceit 1 is the Dunning-Kruger Asylum. Deceit 2 is the Millhaven Asylum, which is from the forums that people have been looking at.
Okay, nice.
But it's going to be the experiment. It's like iconic.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So afterwards with the DLC, the new vampire is going to be very different.
Nice.
Because all the terrors have more abilities now.
Really? Even more?
We also want future DLCs to be less terror-like, be more like unique in themselves.
Okay.
Type of idea.
Nice.
So being a completely new map is very good. On the base game, it will still be the Asylum. It won't be the exact same Asylum, but that's the same whole aesthetic it's going for. The original Asylum seems to have been remade, revamped, probably going to be a lot bigger with there being 3 extra players running around. And apparently on base, it's just going to be the experiment terror. I agree with that. It's one of the most iconic things about the original game. But hearing them talk about more DLC terrors being less terror-like has me very interested. All of the DLC terrors in the original game more or less have the same look, with a couple of extra things, like vampire has wings and its werewolf Asturian has a tail. The Yeti basically isn't any different, it's just reskinned pretty much. So if this actually ends up being true, it's going to be so cool to have new terrors not actually being how every other terror looks and plays.
But yeah, so the new game on launch is not free, although it's a low price game.
Okay.
One of the main points of making it like a low cost rather than free is just to like try and stop it as possible, because people can't just continuously use
Exactly.
unless they pay money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we still have the matchmaking queue, but we also have public and private lobbies.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's about that balance of like a lot of people play it as a party game with friends.
Yeah.
At the same time, we still have quick play, we still have matchmaking. Obviously, we'll be doing DLC. We're actually doing DLC much more frequently once we're doing games now. We're the exact same model, so again, similar cost DLC to before, new map, which anyone can play, the base game, but with a terror.
Okay, nice.
But this time, every map has its own completely new objective.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's really good.
Slightly more unique gameplay per map.
Per map, yeah.
The terrors obviously have more abilities now. So there's more to each DLC.
Personally, as one of the moderators for the game, I am loving that this new game is not going to be free. Having it be low cost, which I assume would be less than like $10 maybe. That is not confirmed. That is just what I attribute to a low cost game being. Hopefully that will be making the overall experience that most people have a lot better, because I know a lot of people end up having problems with trolls and people using a lot of toxic words. It's very hard to moderate that, as it literally can just take people like 3 minutes to be on a new account and jumping into another game. With it being a game you have to pay for, that's going to be a lot nicer. Know that they made ranked in the original game cost money, which made the quality a lot better of people that you get, but it still didn't stop it completely. Having that cost up front is going to be so much nicer for quality of games. I'm also intrigued by the way that they worded this by saying every map has its completely own objective. That leads me to speculate that we're not only going to get maps that require you to escape like through a hatch or something like all of the maps on Deceit 1 are. If that is the case, that not every map is gonna have the same end goal, that's gonna be very exciting for unique gameplay and replayability.
So we still have the loop booth, but the loop booth is now actually the in-game progression.
Oh, okay.
And we don't have the kind of loot box style approach anymore, so we've gotten rid of that.
Oh, fully, okay.
Yeah, although we still have a shop in the game.
Yeah, okay. So you can do microtransactions.
You can still buy some stuff in the shop,
Okay, nice.
but it's not like random.
It's not gambling.
Yeah.
You choose what you want.
This is something that I like a lot, with them still having the loot booth, which was very iconic to the game, but not making it like a gambling system for your cosmetics. I absolutely love that. Embarrassingly enough, being someone that spent nearly $1,500 on a free game, you know, not ideal. But if we're gonna have our cosmetics through just a normal shop system, that's gonna be nice. Cosmetics will probably be a lot less expensive to get what you want.
So there will be no rank?
So we have we're trying tournament-based lobbies, but that we're going to run occasionally, and then we're also doing special challenge sets, so like for different kind of achievements with a skill-based matchmaking in the venue. So that's how we're starting. We're going to see how that goes in the beta, and then if there's enough demand for a specific extra super rank, we'll do that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. That's kind of like, we don't want to start and just force a kind of ranked queue, because I think it's important that we kind of work with the community on what people want to play as the meta. You know, because I think a lot of the time we have ranked and casual is quite different. Deceit 1, like the way people play. I think there's a lot more we can do with skill-based matchmaking in the normal queue. I want to see how that goes. So we're not going to have ranked on launch, but we're not definitely not
It's a possibility.
But it's definitely something we would introduce if the community wants it.
Okay, nice.
Someone who's played ranked a lot over the years, I'm actually fine with them not having a ranked game mode. It's probably better that they start off that way, especially since no one's gonna know what they're doing at the start.
Okay, Waits is asking, what's the story behind the bunny? Like, how did the bunny come into the place?
So Deceit 2 has a lot of new like lore behind it.
Yeah.
A little bit different to Deceit 1, but it's still inspired by the Deceit 1 lore.
Yeah.
The Game Master's always been into bunnies since Deceit 1.
Okay.
It's to do with when the Game Master was a child.
Okay.
And it's been expanded upon in Deceit 2's narrative. Deceit 2 has a, instead of the kind of Game Master tech, it uses more of this kind of otherworld ritual side to the game.
Okay.
And the Game Master was part of this ritual when he was young. And there's a bunch of stuff on the forum we're teasing about the new narrative, but yeah, the kind of the rabbit was something that kind of the Game Master was associated with from a young age, and now he kind of uses it as a mask.
It's for sure a nice addition. It fits it so well.
Yeah, so his mask is about him kind of having to travel through this other dimension so much that he kind of like needs to use this respirator. But yeah, he chooses to make like things in the shape of a bunny, and it's kind of what it represents.
Personally, I've already gone over and read all of the lore that we've been giving so far about the game, and it does seem very cool to introduce this kind of other dimension type thing instead of like, you know, instead of this game master putting people into a death game. I'm sure it still is kind of like that, but this is a whole other tier behind the lore of the games that are not just seeing people kill each other for amusement.
In the new game also, so previously there was kind of swiping people and there was executing people and voting people. To make it clearer when you've eliminated someone from the game in Deceit 2, basically no matter whether it's in the day with a vote or at night with a terror, the terror will start a ritual to eliminate you from the game, or the ritual starts to get voted out. So there's a kind of whole effect.
There's a whole event.
Yeah, a whole event that happens about you getting banished. Yeah.
Okay.
This was probably best because I know so many new people are confused whenever a terror swipes them in the night and then Deceit 1. So making it very clear whenever someone is dying seems like a step in the right direction, especially the way they described it. Seems like it's gonna have very cool visuals.
Yeah. And will there be a tutorial mode or a tutorial video?
Yeah. So we did a bit of work on a tutorial in Deceit 1. Yeah, we put a lot more time into like kind of making it exciting.
Nice.
The tutorial in Deceit 1 definitely is very stale, and does not show a lot of what actually should be shown, so I have high hopes that they've worked on a much better tutorial in this game and will continue to update it as more things are implemented.
Jamie is asking, will it be shoot to vote or no info on that?
Yes, shoot to vote.
Shoot to vote,
So
yeah.
we tried other types of voting, but they weren't generally that popular.
No, shooting is perfect
So
for real.
like
Yeah, simple. Yeah, it will be shoot to vote.
I'm excited to see how shoot to vote will work out. I know that it's likely not going to be exactly the same as it is in Deceit 1, but shoot to vote as a voting system is so unique to the game and its identity. It's much better to stay like this and still have shoot to vote but change it in some ways rather than like having the voting table, which so many people put backlash on, and I think it's to many people it felt like they were just copying it from another game, which I mean they were definitely inspired to do that, and shoot to vote has its problems, but I think completely removing it would be another big mistake. So I think working around its problems are a lot better than completely removing it for a different voting type.
Will the labyrinth be transferred? Like the labyrinth system or no?
No, so we think the labyrinth was kind of cool, and we like it in some ways, but I think that we think the loot booth is kind of the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So we decided to make this pivot where the loot booth is every time you level up, you get a loot coin. It's simpler, and I think we made it look cooler as well in Deceit 2. So no labyrinth. Instead, it's like unlock stuff as you level up.
Okay, it will be loot booth, guys. Basically, when you level up, you get a coin, and you can have in-game progression with the loot booth, basically.
And this was pretty much the last thing that they talked about, is the leveling system. I really like the idea of having the loot booth be through the leveling system instead of being the way you gamble for cosmetics. I think this was a great decision by the devs, assuming it actually makes it into the game. And I guess I'll have to make a new loot booth guide for whenever the game goes out. I have opened thousands and thousands of tokens, so hopefully my skills transfer. But yeah, again, all of that was unofficial, and any of it is subject to change. Those things might not make it into the beta, might not make it into the full game. Those are not confirmed, and just mostly what the devs want to do with the game. It doesn't mean that it's actually going to be in. Again, huge thanks to Slay for going out to that booth and spending so much time with the devs and talking, pretty much holding a Q&A. I will put all of his links in the description. But yeah, that is about everything that we know about the game so far. Hopefully we continue to get more information regularly as the alpha test draws closer, as well as the trailer that's supposed to be coming out, I guess, within the next week. This isn't the type of video that I normally make, but if you guys liked it, let me know. I might make more of these in the future when more information comes out, and I especially want to do one once the trailer comes out. Thank y'all so much for watching.